Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us this morning. In the headlines, Atiku accuses President Tinubu of undermining democracy in Rivers crisis. Finance Minister says federal government disbursed 330 billion naira in cash transfers to poor Nigerians. Ibas officially hands over to Fubara. Dangote stands firm against trade union pressure. Federal pensioners threaten to protest October 1. Lagos state government bemoans wastage in healthcare delivery. On business, Naira records highest appreciation against the US dollar. On the foreign scene, Mark Zuckerberg unveils Meta's newest AI-powered smart glasses. And on sports, Simeone regrets touchline clash at Anfield, blames fan insults after fiery Liverpool defeat. Former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has strongly criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what he described as an unconstitutional interference in the democratic process in Rivers State. In the post shared on his official X, formerly Twitter handle on Thursday, Atiku condemned the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, describing the move as undemocratic and illegal. Atiku noted that the lifting of the suspension, which occurred on Wednesday after a 6-month-long political standoff, should not be seen as a cause for celebration. According to him, the initial decision to suspend a sitting governor and lawmakers was a blatant violation of the Nigerian constitution and a dangerous precedent for democratic governance in the country. The former vice president emphasized that democracy thrives on the rule of law, separation of powers, and respect for the electoral mandate of the people. He warned that executive interference in the affairs of a state, especially in such a heavy-handed and unilateral manner, undermines the foundations of federalism. Atiku called on Nigerians to remain vigilant and to continue to demand accountability and adherence to constitutional principles from all levels of government. He stressed that democracy should never be compromised for political expediency or personal interest. Atiku's statement has sparked fresh conversations about the state of Nigeria's democracy and the need for greater transparency and constitutional adherence in the governance process. The federal government has paid poor Nigerians the sum of 330 billion naira in cash transfers through the National Social Safety Net Coordination Office. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, disclosed this while briefing the press in Abuja. He disclosed that there were about 19.7 million poor and vulnerable households and over 70 million individuals on the National Social Register. The cash transfers have been done from an $800 million facility of the World Bank. According to Edun, the cash transfers are part of President Bola Tinubu's strategies to help poor Nigerians cope with rising prices brought about by the fuel subsidy removal and the floating of the naira. The minister added that households yet to be paid would receive this before the end of the year. Edun described social safety net as an important aspect of every modern economy. The minister indicated that special funds will be provided in federal government budgets going forward to manage the program's sustainability. Providing further clarification on the payments, the national coordinator of the National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, Fumi Olotu, said some beneficiaries received 1, 2, or even 3 payments because the president insisted that payments be linked to NIN to ensure the transparency of the program. The president of Dangote Industries Limited, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has reiterated that membership of trade unions in Nigeria is a voluntary choice, not an obligation. He stressed that forcing workers to join unions would contradict both the law and the principle of individual freedom. Speaking during an interactive session with journalists in Lagos, the billionaire industrialist cited the Nigerian Labour Act to back his position. He drew an analogy with religion to underscore his point, noting that personal belief and association should be matters of choice. He said that even religion was voluntary and that he couldn't force anyone to be a Muslim. Dangote's comments come amid renewed debates over labor rights in Nigeria, particularly in the manufacturing and logistics sector, where union leaders have accused some employers of discouraging workers from organizing. Critics argue that without strong union representation, workers risk being underpaid or overworked. But Dangote insisted that the law always provides employees the right to decide for themselves, adding that his company respects the choices. Labor experts say the issue remains contentious as unions push for wider representation, while employers often prefer direct engagement with workers. Observers note that Dangote's position reflects a broader global debate about the role of organized labor in modern industries, particularly as workplaces evolve with technology and new employment models. Dangote emphasized that his focus is on creating sustainable jobs, competitive wages, and safe working conditions, whether or not employees join unions. His remarks are likely to spark fresh discussions between industry leaders, government, and organized labor on how best to balance individual freedom with collective bargaining rights. The sole administrator of Rivers State, Rear Admiral Ibas, has officially handed over to the reinstated governor of the state, Fubara. Ibas conveyed a deep sense of gratitude and humility as he addressed the citizens of Rivers State for the final time in his capacity as the state's administrator. He acknowledged the significance of the moment and reflected on his time in office with appreciation for the support and cooperation he had received from the people. With heartfelt sincerity, he thanked the citizens for the opportunity to serve and emphasized the honor it had been to lead the state. Ibas recalled that 6 months earlier, President Tinubu had entrusted him with the solemn responsibility of leading Rivers State through what he described as an extraordinary period in its history. Reflecting on his tenure, he affirmed that by the grace of God and through collective efforts of the people, the mandate given to him had been successfully fulfilled. According to him, the achievements were not his alone, but milestones of collective progress. He emphasized that the indigents reflected the determination and resilience of the people of Rivers State. Ibas stated that as he handed back the reins of leadership to Siminalayi Fubara, he was doing so with a sense of confidence and respect. He encouraged all the people of Rivers State to give their full support to the new administration, emphasizing that both leadership and followership are shared responsibilities that require collective commitment for the progress of the state. Pensioners of Federal Civil Service in the Nigerian Union of Pensioners has said it may protest non-implementation of the 32,000 naira increase in their pension on October 1. They said the 70,000 naira minimum wage has been implemented, but they have been deprived of the increase. In a statement yesterday in Abuja, National President Frederick Egwabo said, despite approval of 58 billion naira for the increase, Federal Ministry of Finance and Office of Accountant General of the Federation are yet to comply. Egwabo explained that union officials were demanding the release of the 58 billion naira approved by the President to ensure compliance with the agreed increase and to facilitate the payment of 78 months arrears owed to them. He stated that the union was giving the government a 2-week deadline to meet their demands, warning that failure to do so will lead to a protest. He also urged Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate (PTAD) to ensure that the funds were released by both the Ministry of Finance and the Office of the Accountant General. The Lagos state government has said that unprofessionalism has caused about 20 to 40% wastage during healthcare delivery. The Permanent Secretary, Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency, Dr. Abiola Idowu, stated this during a conference to mark the 2025 World Patient Safety Day and Stakeholders Engagement, Safe Care for Every Newborn and for Every Child. Idowu said that wastage could occur when there is a misdiagnosis, which means the patient's time is wasted, the doctor's time is wasted, wrong drugs are administered, and unnecessary tests or investigations are conducted. She added that the focus of this year's celebration is to improve care for the newborn and child as well as bring down morbidity and mortality rates in terms of neonatal, infant and child death rates. Also speaking, Special Advisor to Lagos State Governor on Health Oluwakemi Ogunyemi said stakeholders must work together to strengthen the health system, ensure accountability and give every child in Lagos State a fighting chance. Similarly, Lagos University Teaching Hospital Luth and medical specialists have expressed concern over gaps in pediatric care, warning that health workers' exodus is undermining patient safety, particularly children. To commemorate the 2025 World Patient Safety Day, stakeholders at LUT agreed that safeguarding patient safety requires not only policies and equipment, but also the human resources to implement them. ComfortTV.channel's news returns shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is ComfortTV.channel news. On business, the Naira recorded the highest appreciation against the United States dollar at the official foreign exchange rate market as the country's external reserves swelled to $41.84 billion. The Central Bank of Nigeria's data showed that the Naira strengthened to 1,484 Naira on Tuesday, up from 1,497 Naira traded on Monday. This means that the Naira firmed up significantly by 13 Naira 33 kobo against the dollar, the highest single-day gain this week. The uptrend at the official FX market is the highest feat since February 2025. Meanwhile, at the black market, the Naira remains stable at 1,537 Naira per dollar. This followed the continued rise in Nigeria's external reserves, which stood at $41.84 billion as of 15 September 2025, up from $41.70 billion, which was recorded on 12 September, according to the Apex Bank's data. It's tough times for one of Nigeria's most popular retail chains, ShopRite, once a dominant force in the country's supermarket sector, but now struggling to survive. 4 years after its South African parent company pulled out of the Nigerian market, amidst the growing competition in the retail supermarket segment, ShopRite is fast losing its dominance in the space, with most of its outlets virtually empty and on the verge of shutting down. On the foreign scene, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg unveiled the company's next-generation artificial intelligence-powered wearable device, a pair of smart glasses with tiny display inside the lens. The Meta Ray-Bans display glasses represents the company's next step toward a future where we all spend less time looking down at a phone screen. Rather, we could interact with Meta's AI technology as well as messages, photos, and online. The display and other new wearables are part of the company's bid to make its AI technology a bigger part of users' everyday lives. Still on the foreign scene, ABC has pulled late-night host Jimmy Kimmel off air indefinitely over comments he made about the shooting of right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. Earlier this week, Kimmel said during his show that the MAGA gang was trying to score political points of Kirk's killing. The term MAGA is short for Trump's long-running campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," and many of the U.S. president's supporters often wear caps and shirts bearing the face. The late-night host also criticized flags being flown at half-mast in honor of Kirk and mocked U.S. President Donald Trump's reaction to the shooting. On the day Kirk was shot, Kimmel took to Instagram to condemn the attack and send love to the 31-year-old activist's family. After he was taken off air, Kimmel left the show's studio on Hollywood Boulevard wearing a flannel shirt and cap and rode away in a car without comments. Public figures have shown their support, included singer John Legend and actor Josh Gad, while actress Alison Brie described the news as unreal and very scary. On sports, Atletico Madrid boss Diego Simeone says he regrets his clash with Liverpool fans at the end of their dramatic Champions League clash at Anfield, but revealed it was sparked by insults he had received throughout the game. Virgil van Dijk, leads winner for Liverpool after Atletico had fought back from 2 goals down to level the game, sparked a fracas on the touchline, which resulted in Simeone getting into an argument with fans behind his dugout. Stewards had to intervene in the flashpoint before Simeone was sent off by referee Maurizio Mariani. UEFA will await the referee's report before deciding on any possible sanctions following Simeone's red card, but the Atletico boss said he hoped Liverpool would take action. Still on sports, Super Eagles striker Sadiq Umar trained with his Real Sociedad teammates for the first time this season, but there is still a chance he could move to Asia in the coming weeks. Over the last few months, Sadiq has been linked with numerous clubs as Real Sociedad see him as a dispensable player. The 28-year-old striker joined Sociedad in 2022 after 3 impressive years at Almeria. At the time, he was one of the best strikers in Spain. The Super Eagles striker was also linked to several other clubs in Spain and Turkey, but nothing concrete emerged before the transfer window closed. No club has shown strong interest in signing Sadiq yet, but it could be an enticing option for him, especially if the pay is right. But in the meantime, he looks to make an impact at Real Sociedad. And that's our news bulletin for today. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. Atiku accuses President Tinubu of undermining democracy in Rivers crisis. Finance Minister says federal government disbursed 330 billion naira in cash transfers to poor Nigerians. Ibas officially hands over to Fubara. Dangote stands firm against trade union pressure. Federal pensioners threaten to protest October 1. Lagos State government bemoans wastage in the healthcare system. On business, Naira records highest appreciation against the US dollar. On the foreign scene, Mark Zuckerberg unveils Meta's newest AI-powered smart glasses. And on sports, Simeone regrets touchline clash at Anfield, blames fans' insults after fiery Liverpool defeat. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. I am Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed.